Hello everybody, I am Omega Recon Gaming, and welcome to my E3 wrap-up. So, there was a lot of good conferences this year and a lot of bad conferences this year. But, overall, I'm pretty happy with what I got. I'm a bit disappointed from some companies, but I'll get to that. Let's start off with the first company. I'm gonna go in order from company to company here. Now, to preface this, Bethesda doesn't make a lot of the games that I like. That being said, I graded them on a newcomer in because I just started playing Doom last year, and two years ago, I played Doom, and I enjoyed it. But I'm not into the Fallout series or the Skyrim series. It's just not my cup of tea. So I'm gonna grade them a bit. I grade them how I grade the other companies. So if my Bethesda thing seems a bit harsh, it's only because I expect the same from each company. I don't skew my opinion regardless. So with that prefaces, let's talk about one of the worst. EA. I gave them an F minus. Here's why. I think I might bump that up actually, though. They get an F, not an F minus. Yay! So let's talk about the good things before I get into the bad. Battlefield 5. No loot boxes, no premium pass. I was expecting no loot boxes, but the no premium pass caught me off guard. So that's what they're supposed to do, but people were applauding. So people were getting upset with people applauding to that. I was like, you know what? Let them applaud. Let EA think that they've done something right. Because, if they didn't applaud, they thought it's a touchy subject, So let people applaud if they want to applaud. Okay, but Battlefield 5 looked great. Like, I'm not gonna lie, man, looked great. And with me not playing Call of Duty this year, maybe I'll check out Battlefield instead. Though Battlefield 5 has the Battle Royale mode. But here's the difference. People were getting really upset with people See, the thing why I'm not getting upset with Battlefield having a Battle Royale is because they still have story mode. So they've got story, the multiplayer, whatever else. I don't play too many Battlefield. I don't think I own a single one. No, I don't. I did enjoy my time with Battlefield 1, though. Battlefield 1 was a lot of fun. The beta was really... I really enjoyed myself. So, yeah, that was good. Next, what was good? Sea of Solitude. I thought that looked good. It has a very interesting premise. This girl, she's extremely lonely, and her emotions are turning her into a monster. She has to now figure out why that's happening, and she's got to find out how she wants to turn back into a human. So she's got to find a way to fix it. So that was the most interesting thing out of the entire conference. So we're only going down from here. Honestly, so here's my problems with just the conference itself. So the presenters were awkward and boring. And I'm not going to say... And, all of them. Pretty much all of them were awkward and boring. The mobile game seemed to tick a lot of people off. And it was of a beloved series, Command & Conquer. I've never played Command & Conquer, so I cannot speak. But I thought it was very interesting. And oh no, that's not what I meant. Because interesting and that game do not fit in the same sentence. I don't think mobile games belong at E3. That's not the only reason it made me upset, is because they took this popular franchise that people hold close to their hearts and they turned it into a mobile game. It's kind of like a slap to the face. And it looks like shit too. It was longer than any of the Battlefield 5 and Sea of... It was longer than anything else. That's the most insulting bit. It was longer than anything else. I timed it too. There was barely any gameplay. The crowd that was actually really funny to me. It was really shocking. Me and Matt watched EA's press conference together because we thought it'd be funny. And plus we watched E3 together, a lot of E3. We didn't watch Sony because it was late. I don't know why Sony wants to have a conference late. Honestly, is Square Enix. Square Enix should have had their conference later in the day. Theirs was only like 30 minutes. Honestly, they could have had them right back to back. Or whatever. Or maybe an hour apart. Or something like that. Because Square Enix was only like 30 minutes. Well, we'll get to them later. There was way too much talking from the presenters. Way too much. Oh my god, so much. Oh my god. It was so boring. Me and Matt were just like... at one point I looked at Matt and I was like, this is the most boring I've ever seen EA. Like, Jesus. Like, they had this kid come up and he was talking about the sacrifices he made to become, you know, a freaking esports star. And I'm like, I don't care. Good for you, dude. But I don't care. Congratulations. You're good at a sports game. I don't give two shits. And a lot of people didn't either. What I was there for, what I didn't get, was Star Wars. Oh, that's another thing. People are like, oh, EA apologized. I'm like, no, they didn't. And why would they apologize at an E3? That just means they fucked up. They know they fucked up. Acknowledging your failures isn't always a good thing. I mean, it is good to acknowledge them, but to do it at a press conference where you're showing off your games, that doesn't really do anything for you. If anything, that's just, you know, it's kind of... I don't know. Yeah, it's fucked up so many times in the past that them fucking up this time doesn't really warrant their apology as much as every other time they fucked up. So yeah, EA was probably the second worst. I know that's a damning statement, but let me get to it. Let's go to the second best conference. No, yeah, it's the second best conference. Microsoft. I never thought I would ever hear those words coming out of my mouth, but Microsoft had the second best conference. So let's just roll through the games, the games that they went through that I found interesting. Halo, or Ori, Captain Spirit takes place in the Life is Strange universe. Crackdown 3, Terry can sell you anything, man. Old Spice, Old Spice, Old Spice. He had so much energy. It was great. He better be like a character in the game. I don't care, man. Like, pay for the licensing for that man. A skater game, Session. Man, they should have called it Skate. That does not... A lot of people were upset that they didn't call it Skate 4. I'm only a little bit upset, but I'm still interested to maybe get it. I don't know if it's gonna come on PC. It better come on PC because PC lacks a lot of skating games. I you know I would love to see Sessions come to PC. Um, think of all the mods, the cool mods that the community could do with that. Um, Here comes the bigger announcements. Devil May Cry 5 looked awesome. Tunic, that was a cute little Fox game. It was adorable. Jump Force. A lot of my friends were really excited about this. This little game looked pretty good. At first, I was a little off-put by the models, but looking at it, my second time through, I was like, yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's good. The models are good. Naruto, Dragon Ball, One Piece, and then Death Note. A lot of people were very upset about Death Note. I think it's okay if they implement it well. I don't think people should get so upset about Death Note's inclusion, especially considering how good the series is. I'm sure they'll make it work somehow. Battletoads and Just Cause 4. I don't care that Just Cause 4 was leaked. I'm counting it. It was an unfair leak. I'm pretty sure that was the Just Cause 4 was the one that was leaked unfairly. No, that was crack. Was that I think Just Cause 4 and Rage 2 were both leaked by accident. I know Rage 2 was a Walmart accident in Canada. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But Just Cause 4 looked great. It looked interesting. I love Just Cause. So yeah, so let's talk about on like the presentation wise. So the Capcom developer that came up was really funny. He had his adorable charm. There was not too much talking. There was lots of gameplay. And yeah, that's it's good. I mean, they started off strong with Halo. Knowing that it's there, it's alive. They tried to push the Game Pass. I've heard that a lot of people are actually enjoying it, so I won't bash on it, as much because it did sound kind of interesting, but not enough for me to buy an Xbox. I'm good with my PS4, my gaming PC, and my Switch. The Xbox 360 was nice. I enjoyed its controller and its games, but I have no reason to get I have a Windows PC, so you can just play the games there. So overall, I gave them a B+. Okay. So Bethesda, I gave them a D. So, positives first. Rage 2. The Doom thing was interesting, because I like Doom. And they had a really funny Skyrim joke ad. It was really funny. Some negatives. Oh no, wait, one more positive. They had a ton of energy. You could feel the energy throughout the conference. There was just one big problem. They were waiting and trying to force the audience's applause way too much. And you could feel it. You could really feel it. And that's never a good sign. The audience should applaud when they want to, not when they feel obligated to. So, that was very distracting. It's like they wanted to look better than they were. It's just a feeling. So, there was the big news is like, Elder Scrolls 6 and, Fallout 76. But, those didn't do anything for me. I know people got excited over that stuff, and you're excited. But for me personally, I wasn't excited. So yeah, I gave him a D. Um, and also, it went on a bit too long. I know, I felt like, there was a bit too much talking. Um, and they needed a bit more balanced approach. Um, I think that Bethesda should really done what they did last year and do like the Bethesda land. That was interesting in concept. I think they should stick. I don't know. Maybe they thought it was a one and done, and they couldn't like do it again this year. I thought they could have done like maybe a thing like where they go like Bethesda land has had some renovations or whatever, and this is the new attractions and stuff. I don't know. Thought it could have been neat, but Bethesda wasn't that bad. Though they weren't good enough to give a higher rating, so I gave them a D. Moving on. Square Enix. I gave them a B. Me and Matt watched this one. This one, every game we agreed on this thing. Almost every game was interesting. Almost every single game. So, there was a lot of repeat from conferences. That's a negative. They had a lot of clear speakers. They had lots of gameplay, and finally the Octopath Traveler thing. They also had the Captain Spirit thing and a bunch of other stuff. But that's what I mostly wrote for my they did very well. Their coverage is very short, but for what they did show off, I found interesting. So I gave them a B. Short and sweet. No Final Fantasy. I mean, well, there was stuff for Final Fantasy 14, but man, I would have been. It would be great with stuff for Final Fantasy 15, but I think they're winding down on that. Ubisoft. Now, Ubisoft, I gave a much lower rating, but I watched them over again. So first time I watched it, it was with Matt. Second time I watched it was by myself. So I'm gonna go this time. I'm gonna switch it up and talk about the negatives. It was boring, cringy, way too much talking. Just Dance took way too long. And that's all the negatives. But those things were they were very in your face with that stuff throughout the entire conference. And it ruined the flow of the entire conference. Like, man, it was like the Division looked boring. I mean, it feels like it was just a complete reskin. This is like, and the crew too. That didn't look that interesting, but it kind of, it had its, the vehicles. I was very interested in about, but they spent way too much time on Just Dance. It's kind of insulting to how much little some other things got in comparison. But let's talk about the good things now, okay? Trial Fusions, that looked interesting, that bike game. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, that looked interesting with Spartans. Spartans, what is your profession? Assassins! Made the joke with Matt. Grant Kirkhope, he was great, and like he leading that stuff. Skull and Bones, that looked okay. It was it looked great. I'm not a pirate fan myself, but it looks good. It looked good. Transference VR. Matt really took a shine to this one. He's not a much for horror game and stuff, but he thought this was really, and nor does he have VR, but he thought this was interesting. He said, you know what? I think this will be like Doki Doki Literature Club. This will be interesting to watch a YouTuber go through this. I was like, yeah, I could see that. So here's where we start to get really good. Starlink's Battle for Atlantis. We see this game again. This looked good. A Miyamoto appears. They gave him a really cool looking Star Fox thing. Oh, by the way, Starlinks has a crossover with Starlinks. Nintendo Switch only though, which is great. I'm glad to see Nintendo start to giving out their IPs, being a bit more trustworthy with their IPs, working with Rabbids and, doing some stuff with, with Star Fox. Maybe we can get some F-Zero? Who knows? I'd love to see F-Zero come back. And then I think the last good thing was them giving away For Honor for free for like a week or so. I liked For Honor. I think I gave it like a 7 or a 6. I can't really remember, but I know I didn't give it anything higher than that. I found the combat interesting. The story was pretty... Ugh. But, but I found this year's Ubisoft conference very lackluster compared to last year. Last year, I think Ubisoft was the best last year. The best conference last year. If not, they were very close to the top. So, moving on, and I gave Ubisoft a C. And my first time watching it, my opinion, I wanted to give them a much lower score because of how just a drastic change it was from last year's E3. But my second time, I gave it a different perspective, and I found a lot more things I enjoyed. And I did that with every conference. I watched it a second time. I did that for each conference. And that opinion did not change for Sony. I wrote a few more things down for Sony, but it did not change their grade. I gave Sony an F. An F. They failed. Their conference was awful. Compared to last year, and just in general, it was awful. I honestly may consider it be worse than EA. No, it is worse than EA. You want to know why? Because I found almost nothing interesting. The only thing I found interesting was The Last of Us 2 cutscene was gripping, but the gameplay was kind of meh. And Spider-Man looked decent, but worse than last year. When he was getting, webbing up the helicopter and stuff like that, and they showed him doing more web slinging and stuff. We got to see more of the villains this time, and they weren't that interesting. So yeah, I thought it was just I might not even review Spider-Man now. I was thinking of doing it before, but I don't know. I might wait for the reviews before There's a bunch of other games, though. So, let's talk about some negatives, alright? Well, not negatives. Let's one more positive. They released Black Ops 3 for free for this month for PlayStation Plus. Don't know why they waited till now, but Okay, I downloaded it for my PS4, so now I have it on my PS4 forever now. So neat. Oh, and Control looked good. I did find Control interesting, and Destiny 2 Forsaken. But that's it. Now let's talk about some negatives here. There was way too much talking. Oh my fucking god. They talked so much. It drove me to insanity how much they were talking. I felt like it would never end. The two musicians that they had were fucking boring. Oh my god. The one for Last of Us was boring. The one they had for I forgot what the second one oh yeah, it was for like a samurai game. Didn't interest me. 5 boring gameplay videos. 5. What really, like, a lot of people did agree with me, but there's always that, like, weird, like, group of people that said, oh no, Sony was the best this year. Really? Sony did better last year. They had God of War. That game is fucking awesome. They had many other games last year. They gave a lot of time for many games last year. To my memory. They had great music last year. The God of War theme when they played. Even I admit last year that was good. But man, this year, it was like empty. They didn't talk about Spyro. They didn't talk about Crash. They didn't talk anything. Like, man, it was fucking barren. They also moved their crowd a bit too much. Like, I don't know why. Like, the venue this year, I want to state, was so small. Like, god damn. Why was it so small? Was there a budget cut? Could they not afford a venue they've had for years? What the fuck? I didn't watch the PC gaming show. I never really watched the PC game. The PC gaming show never interested me. It just doesn't. Alright. Here we go. The best company this year. Nintendo. Second year in a row, they knock it out of the park. Good on you, Nintendo. So, what did Nintendo do right? Just about everything. The first game they showed off looked fucking badass. A mech fighting game. The art style looked great. It's called Daemon X Machinery. Then they went into some Xenoblade 2 DLC. That piqued my interest. Then they talked about Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu. Like I said before, I don't know why they had a Pokemon conference before, but right before E3 when they were going to talk about it. I don't freaking know. But I was still very excited to see it there and to see it mentioned. And so we saw even a little bit of gameplay. Not that much, but a little bit. A little bit. Then we moved into Super Mario Party. Yeah. Not much there, but what they were doing with it was very interesting. I can't really, a lot of the stuff, some of this you just had to see, but, then they talked about Fortnite for Switch. Need to download that and see how that is, because I haven't played Fortnite yet. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not. Who knows? Though, to be honest, I'm kind of getting burnt out on the whole Battle Royale genre. Oh, that's a thing Sony brought up a little bit. Just like, man, how little they talked about it was actually kind of funny. Um, Sony barely talked about Black Ops 4. Nobody else talked about it either. I was actually kind of shocked on how little Black Ops 4 its E3 presence was so shallow. Activision just must have not given them any money or something. Because, Jesus Christ. Black Ops fucking 4. Oh, wait, guys, they're gonna have, wait for this, maps from the other Black Ops games. 4! Isn't that great? Doesn't that make it totally worth it to buy this game? Moving back to Nintendo with the good feels. Then they talked about Starlinks. No, Octopath, my bad. And they gave a new demo. It's coming out June 14th. So I'm looking to play that in 2 days. So I pre-ordered that. So I'll definitely probably do a review. But that will take me time. That will take me time, and I'll be doing that in my free time. So I'm gonna be trying to wrap up God of War soon. May even try to do it today. Who knows? Then they talked about. Then they showed off Starlinks. I wasn't actually that bothered of them not talking about it that much. So then they started raffling through so many games I could barely keep up. So I'm gonna raffle through them on all the support that Nintendo got this year. Fighter Z for Switch. Yeah. FIFA. Now, I'm glad that Nintendo's getting the games that general audiences like. And FIFA on the go? Okay. And let's be honest, FIFA's not really a powerhouse, a graphics powerhouse. So being on the Switch doesn't bother me. Paladins for Switch. Dark Souls for Switch. Not a Dark Souls fan. I have a few friends that are. They were pretty happy about that, so. Mega Man 11. Yeah, and there was a bunch of other games I just couldn't even keep up. But you can go check out the ones that I couldn't cover. But man, there's so many of them. My list would just be on forever if I just had to go through them all. There was a lot. But that so much made me so excited for Nintendo Switch. Just like, man, someone's going to be happy on what they see from this. So then their killer title, which they saved for last. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Yeah! This did so well that it carried the conference almost single-handedly. Let's talk about the stuff that I liked. I'm going to go through. I had notes, and a lot of it's going to be jumbled. Because, they went through it so fast. So, Snake returns. Everyone is back. Every single character for any Smash Brothers game. Which, to me, was when I saw that, I was like, what? Man, licensing, they must have just been like, no, we're gonna make this Smash the most unique. They got Pichu, Toon Link, wow. A lot of different characters were balanced. Marth was in English. I just found that so weird. Just they had to mention that. The Smash Ball moves were changed. They were quicker. I like that change. They were much faster. I like that. They streamlined a lot of the game, which is good. Mii fighters are improved. And just characters are improved in general. Daisy joins the fight. The Inkling joins the fight. They had some interesting mechanics and stuff. You can KO assist trophies and it'll award you points. There's a fake Smash Ball now, which that was interesting. Nintendo GameCube controller compatibility. Beautiful! GameCube controller is the best way to play Smash. And then finally, Ridley joins the fight. Woohoo! And then finally, the date. December 7th, 2018. Nintendo was the best conference, A+. They did so well. There was barely any talking. It was a lot of gameplay. A lot of it was very interesting. And Nintendo's had it right for years. Their treehouse does really, it's very interesting. Nintendo always has very interesting games. They will always bring something interesting to the plate. But now that they have their Switch, they have a console that's selling well, and a console that's, people, enjoying and are using, and I'm excited for the future of Nintendo. Now, yeah, I have no negatives for what Nintendo did. I kind of wish they would have had maybe some other things, but those are things that I wanted to happen and didn't get, but I'm not upset that didn't happen. Smash Bros. Nintendo peaked. Nintendo was the best conference this year. A lot of other companies did well. Man, I never expected Microsoft. I skipped Microsoft's conference in order to I streamed God of War instead, but man, that was a mistake. And I watched Sony's conference this year. That was a mistake. People who were saying Sony's conference was better than Microsoft. Microsoft showed better exclusives than Sony. The lead console. Microsoft is not doing well in competition with everyone else. But they did better than Sony. Nintendo killed it. They did better than Microsoft and Sony combined. Sony, you should be ashamed. Ashamed for how poorly you did this year. You announced almost nothing. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed E3 this year. I was a little bit disappointed. But I was also very happy with the games that I did get. I know I'm going to be playing the out of Smash Ultimate. I don't know if I'll buy it yet. But I think I might be. I might do it. I now have the most current Nintendo console. I didn't have a Wii U, so I did get Smash for my 3DS. So I don't know. I think though they're having every single character. And they even said that they probably will not have all the characters come back again next time. So, I think the Smash is the system seller right there. Pokemon will also be a system seller. Yeah. Fortnite will help them out a good chunk. It's going to be free, so, it'll give something to people to play on their Nintendo Switches before, they have to pay for the online services. And they're not that expensive, so it's not that big of a problem. So, yeah. Nintendo did the best. Fight me. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.